My name is Tyrannosaurus Batar. You've probably never heard of me. I'm from Asia, but I bet you know my brother, Tyrannosaurus Rex. He and I lived over 65 million years ago, during the age of the dinosaurs. Come with me now into the Museum of Arts and Sciences in Daytona Beach, Florida, as we learn about the great Asian dinosaurs. The Museum of Arts and Sciences is the first museum in the United States to display the great Asian dinosaur exhibit.
I want to welcome all of you to the Museum of Arts and Sciences. I'm Michael Brothers. I'm the Executive Director of the Museum of Arts and Sciences, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the Great Asian Dinosaur Exhibition. Well, we are very fortunate that we've been able to bring to Daytona Beach the Great Asian Dinosaur Exhibition. We've been working for about a year with the Russian Academy of Sciences, Institute of Paleontology, and the Russian International Academic Agency to bring to Daytona Beach the largest touring exhibition of real fossil dinosaurs in the world. So we are very fortunate to be the first museum in the United States to host this exhibition. We are very pleased. Not only is it about dinosaurs, which is always an incredibly exciting topic, but it has a very broad range of time span, so that it allows us to examine the precursors of dinosaurs and also the precursors of mammals, as well as looking at the dinosaurs themselves. So the exhibition allows us to expand from beyond the time of the dinosaurs back even farther into the Permian period, and covering 200 million years of evolutionary history. We're able to take a look at the development of dinosaurs, the development of mammals, and the entire range of both geologic and fossil history that takes place in Asia. Because one of the great things about this, and one of the reasons that the individuals that are represented here are so unusual, is that they are Asian species. So that we have from the eastern sections of Russia on all the way to China and Mongolia and the Gobi Desert, a huge array of creatures that are unfamiliar to many people in the United States. And it'll be a unique opportunity to see some great Asian dinosaurs.
So, how does one get giant dino bones from Asia to America? First, you carefully wrap the bones. Then, you gently place them in big crates to fly across the ocean in cargo planes. Finally, you transfer them into big trucks for the trip to the museum. And then, the work of unloading them begins.
And we're here unloading the Great Asian Dinosaur Exhibition. We have two tractor trailers that have brought this material from the Canadian Museum of Nature. And this particular crate is part of the skeleton of the Tyrannosaurus Batar. We have about 29 crates coming in today that will bring the total up to 3 tractor trailers of material from the collections of the Paleontological Institute of the Russian Academy of Science.
Now that the fossils are at the museum, let's meet the Russian scientists and exhibit technicians who will build the skeletons.
My name is Yuri Gubin. I am PhD, Doctor of Philosophy, and my field of study ancient amphibians and reptiles. Now I'm a director of our Great Asian Dinosaur exhibition. So. And these animals, it's part of my life. That's why I like them, and that's why I am a member of this beautiful team of technicians and scientists.
My name is, give name is Alexander. My family name is Agajanyan. No, I deal with some different vertebrate animals and first-time mammals.
My name is Oleg Lebedev, and I'm a member of the staff of the Paleontological Institute in Moscow, Russia.
My name is Pavel Parkhaev. As my colleagues, I am from the Paleontological Institute from Moscow.
Putting the dinosaur skeletons together is no easy task. First, each skeleton's armature must be constructed. The armature is a steel support specifically designed for each fossil bone of each skeleton to fit into. Think of it as a skeleton for the skeleton, no? Once the armatures are complete, each bone must be carefully unpacked and inspected for damage. It's a long way from Russia. Then each numbered bone is carefully mounted onto the armature, in order, until you have a completed skeleton. Remember my name? It's Tyrannosaurus bataar, not Tyrannosaurus rex. My name is different because I was discovered in the Gobi Desert of Asia, between Mongolia and China. I'm one of the dinosaurs featured in the Great Asian Dinosaur exhibit here at the Museum of Arts and Sciences in Daytona Beach, Florida. But I am in good company. There are all sorts of ancient creatures on display in this exhibit. Dozens of species that span over 200 million years of time, many of which we will learn about. Before the dinosaurs, there were amphibians like Carroras, the earliest known salamander, and Paratasuchus. Parareptiles from the exhibit include Scutosaurus. There are mammal-like reptiles such as Titanophonius, and reptiles like Gargania. Of course, there are dinosaurs such as Tyrannosaurus bataar, like me, only bigger. Deinonychus, a velociraptor. Protoceratops, Psittacosaurus, and Saurolophus. There are even a few mammals like Hipparion, an early horse, and the giant ground sloth, Eremotherium. Phew! Not to mention the dozens of other specimens in the exhibit. One way scientists help us understand the history of Earth's past is to divide it into large sections of time called eras. Some are made up of hundreds of millions of years. Now, these eras are further divided into smaller sections of time called periods. And periods are divided into even smaller sections of time called epochs. The large section of time that took place before the dinosaurs is known as the Paleozoic era. This was the time of the amphibians and the parareptiles. It began 544 million years ago and ended around 250 million years ago. The Mesozoic era was next. It began 250 million years ago and ended about 65 million years ago. The Mesozoic era is known as the Age of the Dinosaurs. That's when I lived. After the dinosaurs died out or became extinct, the Age of the Mammals began. This is known as the Cenozoic era and is the time period you are still living in today. Now that we've learned about different time periods, let's find out more about the world and what it was like before, during, and after the Great Asian Dinosaurs.
The Permian is really the great beginning for land tetrapod vertebrates. The beginnings of 4 different major groups can be traced right into the early Permian. What ultimately we know as warm-blooded mammals back then were rather simple. So mammals, very primitive reptiles that are equivalent to turtles or turtle ancestors without shells. Then there were the marine groups of reptiles such as the plesiosaurs getting underway, going back to the ocean. And most importantly were all the group we call the great diapsids, all the lizards and snakes, and all the dinosaur group, the archosaurs. The greatest extinction in the whole record of marine life is at the end of the Permian. For terrestrial animals, it's a little murkier, but there is an end Permian period extinction. And we think it might be a climate change, the beginning of the drying out and breaking up of Gondwana land. The Triassic is really the beginning of the Mesozoic. Of course, 3 parts of the Triassic worldwide are just amazingly productive. Huge success of the mammal-like reptiles. Also, the beginnings of all the marine reptile groups. And then you could also count, by the end of the Triassic, you're beginning to see the real blooming of the Archosaurus dinosaurs group. The Jurassic is a wonderful time. It's about 50 million years long, right in the middle of the Mesozoic. And it has the full-fledged triumph of the dinosaur-archosaur complex. The last dinosaurs disappeared for reasons that were at one time mysterious. Now we know. We have a smoking gun. It was a great Apollo-class meteor that blasted through the Earth's atmosphere and threw up a huge sulfurous screen that blocked out the sun. And there must have been spontaneous forest fires everywhere on Earth. So lots of things went extinct 64 million years ago.
Okay, we've learned how scientists measure time and even a little about life during those time periods. Speaking of time, it's time for us to learn more about the amphibians, dinosaurs, and mammals in the Great Asian Dinosaur exhibit here at the Museum of Arts and Sciences in Daytona Beach, Florida. Meet Paratosukis, another amphibian. This creature was a carnivore, a meat eater like me. It lived during the Triassic period of the Mesozoic era in shallow ponds, lakes, and streams. It had eyes on the top of its head so it could see and then grab fish swimming directly above it. Paratosukis moved in an S shape like an eel, with scales on its belly and armor on its back. Moving into parareptiles, this is Scutosaurus. It was part amphibian and part reptile. It is considered the ancestors of turtles. It was slow and would sprawl its legs out under itself. It lived in the Permian period of the Paleozoic era in a very stable environment. Scutosaurus was a herbivore or plant eater and had armor on its body like today's turtles do. Titanophonius is classified as a mammal-like reptile called a therapsid. It has teeth like a mammal, meaning it has different teeth for different jobs like you do. Some are sharp and some are flat. It had a larger brain than true reptiles and may have even had fur. Possibly warm-blooded, it was the top predator of the late Permian. Its name even means giant murderer. Titanophonius is known as a dinocephalian, or terrible head. It had a reptile-like tail and even laid eggs. When reptiles ruled the world, Gargania was the top predator of the early Triassic. This semi-sprawler was an early version of its famous relatives, the dinosaurs. It would eventually evolve over time into the famous meat-eating dinosaurs known as theropods. Its teeth were designed to crush thick skin and scales and rip chunks of flesh that Gargania would then swallow whole. This amphibian is Carorus, the earliest known of all of the salamanders. Amphibians appeared on Earth before the dinosaurs. They were the first land animals and are vertebrates, meaning they have backbones. They also have moist skin that helps them to take in oxygen. Some have lungs, and some breathe through gills. They don't have scales, feathers, hair, or claws. Carorus here lived in the late Jurassic, 150 million years ago. Not much is known about ancient amphibians, but it is believed that this group gave rise to our modern-day salamanders. Now we enter the true age of dinosaurs. Meet Sahelanthropus. This skeleton was discovered in 1947 in the Gobi Desert. It is a crested reptile that has an acoustic resonator or noisemaker on its head for low-frequency sounds it probably used to communicate with. This commonly known duck-billed dinosaur is part of the hadrosaur family. While it was a herbivore, or plant eater, it had approximately 800 teeth. That's more than me. During the Cretaceous, Saurolophus grew between 30 and 40 feet tall and would spend part of its time in the water moving about with its paddle-like forelimbs. Another dinosaur of this time period, called Psittacosaurus, or parrot lizard, was an ancestor of Triceratops. This herbivore was also discovered in the Gobi Desert and used its parrot-like beak to clip vegetation to eat. Psittacosaurus also ate stones, or gastroliths, that would grind the food in its belly and aid in digestion. Protoceratops is also an earlier relative of Triceratops. Called the sheep of the Gobi, Protoceratops were numerous herbivores with a beak-like mouth and a frill on their head for display. They were also one of my favorite meals. And now, a personal favorite of mine, Tyrannosaurus bataar, the Asian version of the Tyrannosaurus rex. The Cretaceous period was our time. We were the kings of the theropods. Our main weapon was our huge jaws and long, sharp teeth. We had powerful necks and jaw muscles, and while VT bataars were a little smaller than the T-rexes, we had more teeth, and we used them on the large herbivores that grew to massive sizes thanks to all of the newly flowering plants that they ate. We were one of the last dinosaurs to die out or to go extinct.
The prevailing theory today is that about 65 million years ago, the Earth was struck by an asteroid object. That object excavated a very large crater. During that time, all of the plant life on Earth died out, and all animals, dinosaurs in particular, that were dependent on the plants for their food chain, died during that, if you will, nuclear winter that ensued after the explosion. The KT boundary is the term that's used, an abbreviation, if you will, for the boundary that separates the Cretaceous period from the Tertiary period. In the Cretaceous period, which is the time of the dinosaurs, the rock strata, sedimentary strata there is filled with all kinds of fossils. Then there is the boundary, which consists basically of just a thin gray clay layer, which is the fallout from the meteor explosion. And above that boundary, at the beginning of the Tertiary period, then there's almost no fossils. The very thin layer of gray clay at the KT boundary has extremely high amounts of iridium content. Iridium is virtually non-existent in the Earth, but in objects from outer space, iridium is very common. Anything of asteroids, meteors, comets contain iridium. The iridium content is what made them suspect an asteroid, and then other studies around the Earth is where they detected where the asteroid hit.
When the Mesozoic era ended 65 million years ago, and the great dinosaurs were no more, those hairy, warm-blooded, milk-producing creatures known as mammals began to take our place in history. The Cenozoic era had begun. The ancient ancestor of the horse, Hipparion, originally had 3 toes and lived in the forest. This herbivore eventually moved onto the grasslands and lost its toes in order to form a hoof. It had mammalian teeth for clipping and grinding the vegetation. It originated in North America and then went extinct, but survived in Asia only to be reintroduced to America by the Europeans eons later. And last but not least, we end our tour in the Museum of Arts and Sciences' very own exhibit of the giant ground sloth, Eremotherium. This 13-foot herbivore ate 300 to 1,000 pounds of vegetation every day. It was the largest land mammal ever. This one migrated to Florida from South America during the Pleistocene epoch. Its well-preserved skeleton was found right here in South Daytona back in 1975. Eremotherium was covered with thick fur and moved slowly on all 4s until it would rear back to reach high vegetation with its huge arms. It even used its 1.5-foot-long tongue to pull plants into its mouth.
After the extinction of the dinosaurs 65 million years ago, a huge array of ecological niches opened up, and these were exploited by the mammals. And we have the rise of the age of mammals. Here we have a tremendous range of fossil history. We've taken you from the Permian period over 250 million years ago through the extinction of the dinosaurs at 65 million years ago. And you're going to end the exhibition in the museum's own exhibition about the giant ground sloth in Florida during the Pleistocene era.
I hope you have enjoyed our tour of the Great Asian Dinosaurs exhibit here at the Museum of Arts and Sciences in Daytona Beach, Florida. Just as the amphibians and parareptiles made way for the dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs made way for the great mammals, the mammals would make way for a new creature, the most successful hunter of all time, man. We have traveled through time spanning more than 200 million years and learned about many of the different species. But now I must bid you goodbye and return to my time. Remember, when you think of dinosaurs, try to think of me, Tyrannosaurus Batar, and all of my comrades here in the Great Asian Dinosaurs. Sorry, I forgot something. As amazing as it was to see the first ever Asian dinosaurs in America, it would not have been possible without this video. And this video documentary wasn't created by some big movie studio. No, it was created by a Central Florida high school. That's right, a high school. Let's take a moment to visit. This is Atlantic High School in Port Orange, Florida. Their video and TV production program has produced movies, TV series, and daily live news programs for nearly a decade. Their studio is called Shark TV and has been under the direction of instructor Don Brunning for nearly 10 years now. Affectionately called Vidiots, STV's advanced students and their teacher have been busy scripting, videotaping, and creating soundtrack and animation segments for months to help create, well, me. Hello, everybody.
What's up, T-Batar?
Hey, what's up, T-Batar?
Yo,
what's going on, T-Bone? What's up?
What are you working on?
What's up, T-Batar? Working on the website to promote your new video.
Yeah, I'm working on your blue screen here, just fixing this stuff up a little bit.
I got your lip syncing all done. You're looking good.
Yep, just cropping a couple shots.
I'm just rendering a couple video files here.
What's up?
I'm just finished up one of your voiceovers. I'm getting ready to go cut in the outtakes from your audio dubs.
What outtakes?
You haven't seen them yet? Do you want to? Just real quick?
No, thanks.
These are funny. You've got to see these. Come on.
Definitely no.
Hey, we got those outtakes from T-Bone here? Yeah. Go ahead and bring them up. Let me see them.
No. Hello, everybody. My name is Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tyrannosaurus Rex? I'm Tyrannosaurus Batar. Sorry, I messed that one up. Can we try that again? So, how does one get giant dino bones from America to America? From Asia. So, from Asia. From Asia to America, blah, 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 blah. Putting the dinosaur skeletons together is no easy task. Phew. Not to mention Not to mention the dozens of other specimens. Where am I from? Texas? What's going on here? The Mesozoic era was next. It began 250 years ago. 250? I think we got a typo here. Let's find out more. Blah, 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 blah. We had more teeth. And we used them for crunching and biting and swallowing and ripping apart and I was scary. I was such a scary. T-Batar. I was scary. Comrades, here in the great, echoey, kind of Asian hallway. It's way too echoey. Dinosaur. That's fun.